Now that we know how to create MIDI, that we have seen that in the last video, that it is the use of the protocol to create digital music, if we want to create a piece of music, we must understand very basic theoretical things. In addition to knowing the notes that exist in theory, theory will give us the tools to be able to play with the music in a simple way and obtaining shortcuts, not to improvise. So we have to understand that apart from the natural notes, there are others that are called alterations, sharp and flat, in Spanish, sostenidos y bemoles. So there are two types. To understand this, because sometimes theory is heavy to understand because it is other language, the music, I will give us an example of colors. Colors have different shapes and sometimes can appear lighter or darker. Blue sometimes has names like sky, like this, king, or celestial, among others. It is the same color, but at the same time it is not. Well, that's how the notes are in natural and with their alterations. They are called the same, but at the same time they are different. Well, as it is said, they are altered. So in reality, there are not only 7 notes, there are 12 notes, which are known as the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale are the 12 notes, all the notes that exist. So I will give us an example to know how to use this with a song of Luis Miguel. Check my hand, my left hand, because it's the one that will do the changes. The chromatic scale is note by note. You don't jump in so much distance. It is just one. So check this out. Se nos va acabando el trago, sin saber qué es lo que hago, sin contengo mis instintos o jamás. So you have to know how to use the chromatic scale, because sometimes can sound very well like this or sound very bad, because they are dissonant notes, but they work really well in this chord, so that's how they sound. To understand more about the chromatic scale, we have to know more about the alterations, so I will give an explanation of that. The black ones are the altered, that have 2 names. Because the alterations act in 2 ways, forward and backward, or from left to right. As we said, there are 2 types, sharp and flat. Sharps work forwards or right, and flats work backwards or left. They can be the same note, but depending on the key we are in, we will use flat or sharps. We cannot use both in the same key, it is one or the other. Although they are the same sound, it is not well said. It is grammatically incorrect in music. Taking this into account, we must now understand what an interval means, to know how to use the alterations. The intervals are the distance between one note and another. These intervals are numbered according to the number of notes that exist between them. From C to D, there is an interval of seconds. From C to E is third, and so on. But they have different qualities, major and minor. To know what interval you are doing, you must know how to count them and use semitones and tones. A semitone is counted note by note, and a tone is the sum of 2 semitones. So if we want to find the distance between this and this, we must count the semitones or tones. Which means that 7 semitones sum into a perfect fifth, and that is the interval between A and E.